When the human mind becomes angry, the wind within immediately surges. Anger is no different from a flame. Just a small spark can burn down an entire forest of merit. The Sixth Patriarch Huineng once taught that for a cultivator of the way, if they wish for a peaceful mind, they must first know how to stop hatred and anger. When hatred arises, wisdom is immediately extinguished. Keeping the mind free from anger does not mean suppressing emotions inside, but rather clearly recognizing that anger is coming, smiling at it, and then letting it dissolve like clouds drifting across the sky. Someone once asked the patriarch, people today live amidst so much pressure, easily becoming frustrated and hateful. How can one maintain a peaceful mind? Huineng replied, your mind is inherently peaceful. It is only because you use a deluded mind to look at things that you lose your peace. Just like a lake surface that is inherently clear, only when the wind comes do waves rise. There is no need to find a way to suppress the waves. Simply stopping the wind is enough. A cultivator is the same. There is no need to force oneself not to be angry, but simply to see clearly the cause that makes one angry. When seen clearly, the anger immediately dissolves. Being angry because someone insults us is actually because we cling to the ego too deeply. Being angry because someone does not listen to us is because we want to control others. Being angry because of loss is because we are afraid of things not going according to our will. All roots of anger lie within the word ego. If one knows how to let go of the word ego, then even if someone insults them, they still smile, because that person is insulting the ego that we have already let go of. So where is there left to be angry? One day, a monk came to pay respects to the Sixth Patriarch and asked, Patriarch, I am someone who gets angry easily. Often, I know it is wrong, yet I cannot control it. I want to cultivate, to eliminate anger completely. What must I do? The patriarch smiled and said, you want to cultivate, to eliminate anger. Go find where the anger is. If you can find it, I will help you destroy it. The monk closed his eyes, observed for a long while, and then said, Patriarch, I cannot find where the anger is. When I look for it, it disappears. The patriarch said, so you have realized it. Anger is inherently not real. It is only because your mind gives rise to delusion that there is a name called anger. Hearing this, the monk bowed in reverence. In that moment, he realized that keeping the mind free from anger is not fighting against anger, but clearly seeing its nature is not real. In life today, people often easily lose their temper over trivial things. A word not to one's liking, an action contrary to one's wishes, or an event not going according to plan. But remember, anger only causes suffering to oneself. It never causes suffering to others. When we are angry, we lose our clarity. Words and actions become erroneous, and countless karmic obstacles are born from there. Someone once said, I am not angry at anyone. I am only angry at myself. But Huineng taught, being angry at oneself is also anger, because there is still an attachment to the self to be angry at. Look at the very root. When our mind is clear, even if circumstances are adverse, they cannot make us lose our peace. When others are angry, we can still be serene. When we ourselves are insulted, we can still smile. That is truly a person studying the way. In Nanhua Temple, where Huineng propagated the Dharma, it is told that there was a disciple with a very hot temper. Once, While working, he had his bowl of rice spilled by another brother. He flew into a rage, intending to shout and scold, but suddenly remembering the patriarch's words, he stopped, bent down to pick up each fallen grain of rice, chanting Namo Amitabha Buddha. At that moment, a monk standing nearby asked, "Why are you not angry?" He smiled and replied, "Rice falling to the ground I pick up, but if the mind falls to the ground, who knows who will pick it up?" That saying resonated far and wide, becoming a reminder for many cultivators. Keeping the mind free from anger is preserving blessings, preserving virtue, and preserving peace. Each time we are angry, we lose a portion of accumulated merit. Each time we forgive, we build up another layer of wisdom. Each time we endure, it is not weakness, but being stronger than ourselves of yesterday. On another occasion, someone came to ask the patriarch, "If someone scolds me, what should I do?" The patriarch smiled and asked back, "If someone offers a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The person replied, "Sir, it belongs to the giver." The patriarch said, "Then when someone scolds you and you do not accept it, to whom does the scolding belong?" The person bowed their head, and their mind immediately became clear. From then on, he was no longer angry at anyone, understanding that the person speaking evil words is the one bringing suffering upon themselves. As for us, as long as we do not accept it, that suffering cannot touch our minds. In modern life, people very easily accept the angry words of others and store them in their hearts. A statement online, a criticism, or a small action can all make the mind heat up. But that is because our mind lacks a firm standing, easily swept away by the winds of life. If there is a firm standing, meaning having a focused mind, then all storms outside are just small matters. The Sixth Patriarch Huineng taught that the mind is like empty space containing everything without being entangled by anything. If our mind is as vast as empty space, then when anger comes, it is like a cloud drifting across the sky, leaving no trace. But if our mind is small and narrow, then just a speck of dust is enough to make us uncomfortable. There is another story about a monk who was wrongly blamed regarding the receipt of offerings. He came to report to Huineng, his heart full of anger. The patriarch asked, "When you were wrongly blamed, did you lose anything?" The monk replied, "Yes, I lost my reputation." The patriarch asked further, "Whose is the reputation, sir?" "It is mine, so are you real?" Hearing this, the monk suddenly awakened, tears flowing. "Sir, if I am not real, then how can the reputation be real?" The patriarch nodded and said, "Seeing it like that, injustice turns into liberation. Keeping the mind free from anger is the highest form of freedom. Freedom from being dominated by emotions, from being controlled by others, and from one's own ego. Because as long as one person can make us angry, it means we have handed over the power to control our mind to them. But when we know how to smile in all circumstances, it means we have reclaimed the power of mastery. The Sixth Patriarch once said, "Do not fear a deluded thought arising, only fear being slow to be aware." This means anger may arise, but if we are quickly aware, clearly knowing and seeing it, and not accompanying the anger, then that anger dissolves like bubbles. Another time, a monk was carrying water and accidentally broke a fellow disciple's bucket. The other person angrily cursed him severely. The monk remained silent bending down to pick up the broken pieces of wood. When Huineng passed by and asked, "Are you not angry?" the monk replied, "I see that person is suffering more than I am. I only lost a bucket, but they lost a piece in their mind." Huineng smiled and said, "Good, you know how to see suffering and feel compassion, see anger and understand. That is truly cultivation. In life today, those who know how to keep a calm mind are very precious people. They are not easily provoked and do not react hastily. When others are hot, they are cool. When others scold, they smile. When life raises waves, they stand still. They are like a lotus flower amidst the mud, not changing color because of the mud, not swaying because of the water." A piece of advice from Huineng that every cultivator should remember: do not answer resentment with resentment, for resentment will only grow longer. Answer resentment with virtue, and resentment will destroy itself. A wise person always chooses to resolve rather than oppose, because they know anger is just a temporary wind, while compassion is the root of long-lasting happiness. The ancients said, "A spark of anger burns down a forest of merit. A thought of compassion saves one from thousands of lifetimes of delusion." When we understand this, every time anger arises, remember, we are standing before two paths. One leads to suffering, one leads to wisdom. If we let go, we choose wisdom. If we cling, we choose suffering. And when we know we have the power to choose, we are free. A young layperson once came to ask Huineng, "Patriarch, whenever someone insults me, I get so angry I tremble. I know anger is wrong, but I cannot stop it." The patriarch asked, "When you are angry, who suffers the most?" The layperson replied, "Sir, I suffer the most." "Then why do you get angry, sir?" "To let the other person know I'm hurt." "But does the other person really know, or do they just see you losing your composure, sir?" "They see me losing my composure." The patriarch said, "So you are making yourself suffer just so others see you suffer. That is ignorance. To end suffering, stop being angry. To stop being angry, understand that no one can hurt us except our own clinging mind." After hearing this, the layperson fell silent and then wept. He said, "I thought the other person was making me suffer. Who would have guessed I was making myself suffer?" The patriarch smiled and said, "Knowing that means you have stepped across half the path to enlightenment." In life today, to apply these teachings, we can practice 3 things every day. First, early in the morning, make a vow to keep a peaceful mind. When you open your eyes, whisper to yourself, "Today, no matter what anyone says or does, I will keep my mind peaceful." Second, in the middle of the day, observe your mind. When you encounter something contrary to your wishes, do not react immediately. Ask yourself, "What is this anger teaching me?" It may be teaching us to be less stubborn, less demanding, or less arrogant. When we learn the lesson, the anger dissolves. Third, before sleeping, reflect and forgive. Ask yourself, "Did I get angry at anyone today?" Then whisper, "I forgive them because they are only people in delusion. I also forgive myself because I have moments of delusion." Doing so, the mind becomes light as clouds, sleep becomes peaceful, and past karma gradually diminishes. Huineng said, "One thought of goodness generates light. One thought of anger generates darkness. A person who keeps a peaceful mind is one who is lighting a lamp for the whole world, because the light in one peaceful mind can spread to thousands of other minds." An angry person can make the whole house uneasy, but a calm person can make the whole house soothed down. That is the invisible energy that a cultivator can sow every day. If we want the world to suffer less, let us begin with a peaceful breath within ourselves. If we want society to be less angry, let us begin with a smile amidst adversity. From the mind of one person, the minds of thousands can be resolved. From one transformed anger, an entire stream of karma can be saved. Huineng once said, "Buddha is not far away. When you stop your anger, that is the Buddha within you revealing himself. Keeping the mind free from anger is opening the door for the Buddha nature to step out. A person who keeps a peaceful mind remains cool even amidst fire. A person who keeps a chaotic mind suffers even amidst flowers." Keeping the mind free from anger is not only to be at peace inside, but to redirect one's entire life. Because karma does not lie outside, karma lies within the mind. One thought of anger is the seed of suffering. One thought of compassion is the seed of blessings. Just changing one thought, the entire flow of life turns in a different direction.